Hi there and welcome back to another edition of Cloud9's 10-minute demo videos. Today we're going to walk through how a financial services organization could use Dynamics 365 to manage funds, deals, and other data within their business. So we're starting with the home page within Dynamics, as it's often referred to, which is the dashboard screen. Now, of course, because Dynamics is a Microsoft product, it's nice and easy for us to access Dynamics with our already existing Microsoft 365 login details. So any of your users are not going to need to remember new username, new password information. They're just going to access Dynamics as they currently would any other Microsoft application that you have running within your Microsoft suite, like Outlook, like SharePoint, and like Teams. Now, typically, when we're setting up Dynamics for an organization, we would like to ensure that users who are accessing the system are seeing information that's relevant to them as part of a dashboard like this. So to give you an example, we can see here we have different tiles of information around open opportunities. The open opportunities broken down by fund A, B, C, and D. And I'm going to show you how we can start to populate this dashboard with some data later on in this demo. But you can see the breakdown of this information can be in different graphical views, bar charts, pie graphs, opportunity grid lines, or other line graphs as well. So the key here is that as long as we're capturing the information within a record somewhere in Dynamics, we do have the ability then to report on that data and fill in some kind of dashboard. Now, as I mentioned, anyone who's accessing the system in an ideal world will be seeing information that's relevant to them. So as you can see with this toggle, we do have the opportunity to see multiple dashboards, and we would typically set your organization up with a number of different dashboards, giving you the ability to view information at perhaps a bird's eye view level of the business versus more of a day-to-day user dashboard that's providing tasks and an overview of things that need to be managed within a single day. So that's the reporting capability. And how do we fill in this data? Where does this data come from? Well, as you can see on the left-hand side, we've got our entities or objects within Dynamics. And this is going to be where all of that data is held. So we'll start with the accounts. And as you can see here, we have a breakdown of the account records that we're looking after. Now, again, as we had with the dashboards, you do have the ability to toggle this view into different sets of information with regard to our accounts, and that's just a query tool, giving us the ability to query the system and say, show me my accounts, or show me my accounts that were set up over a year ago, or show me my accounts that we have open opportunities with. That would utilize this edit filters tool, which basically allows you to set up a view specific to the query that you are after and save that view for later viewing. We do, of course, also have the option to edit these columns. So if I come into here, I can say, actually, the account type column isn't doing very much for me. So I'm going to remove that and make this view a little nicer to look at moving forward. And I can save that and go from there. So what's going on within one of these individual account records then? So if I go to this account record, as you can see, we're looking at UBS Group Worldwide. This is an overview of a customer, an account of ours. And you can see we've got standard information as to who this organization is. We can have, address, email, phone, website, what type of organization they are. All of this, as Dynamics is such a customizable system, would be tailored to your business. So any fields or data capture that you would need that is not currently visible is something that we would look to create for you. And anything that you do see that wouldn't be relevant as we go through this demo can absolutely be removed to ensure that the system is fit for purpose for your business. So as I mentioned, we've got primary contact information, we have classification and segmentation, so our ability to see the relationship status, the tier, if we're going to categorize our accounts in that way, the market influence, whether they're global or regional, and we can show this information on a ratings dashboard, which I'll come to later on in the demo. We've also got client AUM information, which gives us an overview of the figures when it comes to organization AUM valuation, year-to-date net flow versus the change. So that's giving us some great financial information as to regard the relationship that we've got. We're then looking at the opportunity overview and what funds this organization is committing to as part of the deals we're working on with them. The important element within Dynamics, of course, is the communication tracking. As you can see with this timeline, this is an opportunity for us to look at all of the recent emails, recent appointments, recent phone calls or tasks that are being managed relevant to this specific account. So as an example, we can be sending emails from Dynamics, which gives us the ability to track whether they're being opened. We can schedule them to be sent at another time, or we can set reminders for ourselves to follow up on emails that haven't been opened or haven't had a response within a certain time frame. We do have another video on our YouTube channel that goes into more detail on email engagement. At the top, we have these tabs. These tabs are giving us the ability to relate different pieces of data from the rest of the system to this account. So we can see here we've got related contacts and active individuals that we're speaking to within this organization. So Hannah, as an example, is her own record. Hannah Smith is the MD at UBS Group Worldwide. We have her email, her phone numbers, her address, and of course we would have a timeline of the communication specific to Hannah as well. We can then look at the relationship that we actually have with this account. And again, this is something that's heavily customizable to any organization. But to give you an example, we might have a specific account plan per organization and customer that we have within the system. So as an example, here's the UBS plan, which gives us the ability to review the SWOT analysis that we put together for UBS. So we can see the threats, the relationship that we have, the opportunities that we're currently working on with UBS, the weaknesses to our relationship, and the strengths, of course, as well. Again, entirely customizable to suit your business's requirements. Go back to the account. We then have the ability to look at the opportunities in a lot more detail. So you can see here we've got the open opportunities versus the closed opportunities, that being ones that we have won versus opportunities that we're working on currently. And again, as with everything else, we can look at that in a lot more detail. If we click into one of those opportunities, here we're looking at an opportunity with UBS Group Worldwide, and we can see that this opportunity is related to Fund A, which gives us the ability then to see on the account record what type of impact this opportunity is having on the commitment that we have to that fund. As with all of the other records, we do have the ability to track our communications relevant to this specific opportunity. But importantly, we have this process bar along the top, which gives us a chance to track where we're at with this opportunity. What needs to be done on this deal in order to win it, in order to move it to the next stage, in order to make sure that everyone is on the same page as to what needs doing. So you can see if I click into each of these stages here, we have the ability to set certain actions for our users, for our team to complete before we're happy to move a deal or opportunity onto the next stage of our process. Okay. So that's going to be giving us the detail on what opportunities are feeding into the commitment of our individual funds. But of course, funds can also be viewed within the system from the other side as well, not just at account level, but also specific to the fund. So we've got some information here as to what this fund is, what type of fund it is it pooled, is it an SMA fund, the first versus final close, the AUM information, the return percentage, the fund term. Again, all of this can be tailored specific to the requirements that your organization would have, but related to this specific fund, we can have a look at all of the opportunities that have committed and contributed to the fund itself. So we can see what our total commitment is based on won deals and won opportunities versus the estimated commitment of open opportunities that our team are currently working on, which gives us a chance to track all of that information of our historic commitments versus what we're expecting. And finally, we have consultant ratings, which gives us the chance to view the rating of specific funds based on the organizations that we have split within our system. Now, of course, with any other view within the solution, we do have the ability to filter. So I could come in here and say that I only want to look at the buy accounts that we've got. And as you can see there, give us a filter specific to the fund and the organization related to that rating. And that's about it for the management of funds, deals, accounts, and customers as part of a financial services Dynamics 365 solution. If you have any questions on this and how it could work for your organization, please do reach out. We'd be more than happy to help.